This is television for the Isles of Scilly, brought to you with Worldwide Financial Planning, Truro and Penwith College, and the Scilly Lottery. From Radio Scilly, this is scillytv.com. Scilly's Member of Parliament Andrew George has said he'll do what he can to help Ireland's boatmen stop the introduction of a rule which could prevent some trips to the Bishops Rocks Lighthouse. The Marine Coast Guard Agency has written to operators warning that only covered boats may soon be able to make journeys to the lighthouse 7 miles from St Mary's. The ruling concerns destinations where passengers can't step ashore, those that are far off the main UK coastline. Andrew says the boatmen have never had any issue with that route before.
Particularly those serving the tripper boats going out to Bishop Rock and providing that kind of outing for visitors, which of course has operated without any incident for decades, and which quite rightly, boatmen and women, of course, are sort of take the view, quite rightly, that they are in the best position, I think, to judge whether the conditions of the sea that they take are acceptable or not, whether they're safe or not, and rather than insisting on further constraints and controls.
Andrew says if the boatmen get no joy with their complaints, he'll take it to the top.
There are issues there which I most probably be taking up with the Maritime Coast Guard Agency and possibly with the Shipping Minister Norman Baker as well, if we can't get some sensible sort of common sense solution to the matter. Well, at the moment, of course, it's a matter which the boatmen have to consider. It's primarily going to affect, if it's going to affect at all, it's going to primarily affect the uncovered boats, and it'll have the greatest impact, if it has any impact, on those services which take visitors primarily out to see a site. So on sort of sealing trips or on to the Bishop Rock rather than running launches between islands.
Jeremy Phillips of the St Mary's Boatmen's Association says they have received a letter from the MCA, but there's not too much detail at this stage. He says the boatmen are opposed to any further regulation because they've got enough rules to deal with at the moment.